I'm going to go into it very briefly, just so you can see those elements that get plugged into an urban renewal plan. But this is the vision plan that Tom was describing, basically as a result of a lot of public input, and really it's a vision for the community, and which included an innovation district, by the way. So the vision plan leads to an urban renewal plan, which then sets a framework for implementation. I also want to make the point, as Tom did, that it was a very open process, a very inclusive process with the community, a number of public meetings, 3 public meetings. We also had focus group meetings, actually in this building, 2 days of meetings with various interest groups from the community. Actually went from all day into the evenings. Many of you participated in those focus group meetings, and I thank you for your input, because all that was folded into the vision plan, and as you can see now, we're into phase 2 of the urban renewal plan. There are various principles that came out of the vision plan that will be our recommendation to the redevelopment authority that get folded into the urban renewal plan, and I'm sure many more will be folded in on top of it. So basically, I'm not going to read all these, you can read it on your own, but basically looking at higher density, or residents, or jobs in the downtown area, a mix of uses, so it's retail, it's residential, it's events, it's new businesses, new industry, etc. At the same time, making sure we preserve the historic character of downtown Holyoke and its valuable architectural resources, including a variety of housing in the downtown area, improving circulation, and that's not just vehicular circulation, that's pedestrian and bicycle circulation also, and promotion of the green technology, and certainly the benefits that Holyoke Gas and Electric provides through their low-cost energy, which is one of the reasons why, as you all know, the high-performance computing center is coming. I'm going to quickly walk you through the different elements that went into the vision plan. Again, here's the census tract areas that we looked at, and I described earlier. Basically, this is the basis of the urban renewal plan, but included recommendations that will get folded into the urban renewal plan, such as actions to reconnect the city streets, again, making them pedestrian friendly. We're talking about bicycle accommodation, pedestrian accommodation, as well as those improvements that are necessary to improve vehicular access into the area. We talked about developing key nodes, the 4 areas that just popped up, one by the intermodal center, one by where there's going to be passenger rail, down here, in South Holyoke, and another up here by the library, creating key nodes that would be connected to each other, and these become what we call the portals into the adjacent neighborhoods. Arts and Innovation District, a lot of discussion about this and building upon the growing artist community in Holyoke, but expanding that and calling it an Arts and Innovation District, and this highlighted area was the core of that initiative. Open space amenities, whether they be small pocket parks or larger parks in the area, really using those to support the residential and job creation in downtown. Transforming the riverfront, a lot of opportunities, a lot of either vacant parcels or vacant buildings along the riverfront that need to be addressed. And most importantly, or equally importantly, restoring the urban neighborhoods, the residential areas themselves. And then that could be a combination of residential, or it could be a combination of commercial growth in those residential areas. So that puts the picture together of the larger vision plan. Those are the major elements of it. And again, we're using that to build the urban renewal plan. So what we're in now is defining the area, which I talked about earlier, parcel and building evaluation, come up with specific recommendations, whether they be public actions or private actions. There needs to be a financing plan, and then we talk about a phased implementation of the recommendations. So again, back to the larger area, this is what we're studying now and trying to understand the characteristics in a lot more detail. And this includes characteristics parcel by parcel, building by building. This is obviously a colored aerial here. I don't expect you to be able to read the details of it, but we did an initial windshield survey of the entire area to help define that red line, to help determine what would be the larger study area for the urban renewal plan. And what we've colored here are parcels that are either vacant and buildings that are vacant, partially vacant, or in very distressed condition. So you can see there's a kind of a dispersal of a number of different properties and buildings throughout this area that need attention. And that's what an urban renewal plan does. It really focuses in on these distressed properties. What we've determined in this initial assessment is that we believe the area, and the argument we'll be making to the state through their Department of Housing and Community Development, which administers the urban renewal program, is that this area should be declared as decadent under the urban renewal categories. They have various ways you can declare an area as an urban renewal area. Blighted, open blighted, decadent are a couple of examples. Decadent is the most applicable term for this area in Holyoke. I'm going to get into the scope in a little more detail just so you will see what we are going to be doing with the redevelopment and with the redevelopment authority and with the city. So I think you also see opportunities where we need to plug in a number of different projects into the process, and as well as us plugging into other studies going on. One, we've completed that initial project area assessment. That was that map I just showed you. We're also doing a market analysis for this project. We have on our team RKG Associates, and Fred Pulitzer from RKG Associates is here with us today also. We've asked them to look at the larger Holyoke area of the region. What are the market characteristics here now, and how might this part of Holyoke be able to capture some of the market demands in the area? So they're going to be taking a very general overview of market conditions in the area and helping us identify those market areas we want to try to attract into the downtown Holyoke area that, one, makes sense for the vision plan, but also that there is a need out there. Hopefully some of these vacant parcels and buildings can fulfill that need in the downtown area. Then, as I mentioned, there'll be additional data collection to make the argument that this area qualifies as an urban renewal area. And this is where we'll go back and really go parcel by parcel, building by building, and do an evaluation of the condition of each parcel and building. Some areas might be grouped together because there's similar characteristics within a few blocks of each other. But what we're trying to do and document and make the case to the state is that there are a number of what we'll call decadent buildings and parcels within this area. And therefore, because there is a high percentage of these decadent buildings and parcels, there is a need to identify this as, or designate this as an urban renewal area and allow government action to take place to, again, stimulate private investment. Out of that, we have to do a series of maps. I won't bore you with a list of those. There are a number of chapters that we need to write for this plan, and this is all set by the state. The state has a program, an urban renewal program, and they say, here's the outline of the report you must produce. So all these elements are from their outline. These are all things we need to put into the plan, and there are a couple I'd like to highlight. And one is the proposed actions, and that would be public and private actions. So certainly the high-performance computing center, on whatever site it lands, and any type of activities that need to happen around it to support it being in this part of Holyoke will be an action that we would recommend go into the urban renewal plan. One, it's the private investment of the development of the high-performance computing center itself, but maybe the city or some other agency needs to do infrastructure improvements, roadway improvements, access improvements, etc. Those would all be identified as a package of activities that need to take place to support that